It is Sunday, March 30th, 2014. This is my third video on DS Domination. The last 3 weeks I've been doing my video blog. My sales are getting better. I'm getting overall more sales. I have more items posted, so I've got more sales. The price of my items are more and more varied. I mean, it's still a long range, but I've got more items between certain things. Most stuff I'm selling are still, lower end items, which is fine. I'm still making a profit. My profits have increased. Our profits on items have increased. I'm kind of learning how to price them better, doing better, learning the more tips and techniques, learning explanations for tips and techniques by watching other videos. So it's getting better. I have not yet opened anything up in eBay Canada like I planned. I'm probably going to wait another week to do that. I'm going to wait till I get to 400 items on eBay USA before I open up eBay Canada items. So I'll have a good, so I'll be getting a good amount of products. From what they teach, when you get to a certain amount of items, you're going to get a steady flow. If you do things right, you can get a steady flow of customers buying your products, and then as you continue, you get more and more. When you get to a certain point, you're going to be making so much, you're going to have to quit your job, which is my goal. So far, I'm getting closer to that goal. My goal is still by the end of June to be a man who is free of his job, a man who is just, my job is at my home. I don't go to work. I don't work for another man. I work for myself, with an ultimate goal of moving out of here and moving somewhere else. So far it's going well. As I told in my last blog on Sunday last week, I had made about 12 sales in a 24-hour period. I made about 4 sales on Monday, not a single sale on Tuesday. Made that up with about 9 sales on Wednesday. Thursday did about 4 or 5. Like 4 or 5 sales on Friday, 4 or 5 sales on Sunday. 4 or 5 sales on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I did about 12 sales in about 3 days, 12, 13 sales. And then today I've only made 1 sale. I had 1 sale, but you're going to have your slow days. I'm not going to complain. It's just what are people looking for. You happen to have what they're looking for, it's great. If not, no big deal. I did have a friend of mine look at my items that I had listed and said, you've got a lot of good items. That's stuff that I would buy or other people would buy, which is really good. As I've gone through the training, you hear more stuff from the higher level trainings that they teach you. Now, some of the stuff I can't use because there's further teachings on that, but there's all the other stuff you can look at to check, what you can do. And this program for selling on eBay is phenomenal. I am making money. I am in the black. I've made more money than I've spent. Even after the few items that I did lose some money on, you're starting a business, doing something like this, you're going to lose money on a couple items. You're going to learn, you're going to adjust. No big deal. I've only had 2 items returned. One because it was broke, and one because they didn't like it. They got it and it's like, well, this isn't what I expected. Well, sometimes that happens. You buy stuff online. You're expecting one thing, you get something else. And it isn't that they didn't lie to you, you just misunderstood what you're looking at. No big deal. It was only a $10 item the guy didn't like. He sent it back, So I'll get that back. I'll get my eBay and I'll get my PayPal fees back. No big deal. So, and I'm sorry, if something gets broken and it gets shipped to me, I'll ship it back too. That's no big deal. So, no big deal. This business is awesome. The stuff they're teaching is great. There is a learning curve for some people more than others. If you have an established eBay and PayPal account, it's going to be really easy to get started and get to where I'm at within a month. Within about a month, if you work real hard, you can probably put in 3. If I would have been putting 5 or 10 items in a day from the beginning of the month, I'd be at over 400 right now because of where I started at. If you are very consistent with this business, you're going to make some money. Now, you're also going to find items that are seasonal, that if you accidentally list them, after 30 days they don't list, whatever. It's kind of weird when things sell, because sometimes you'll sell something like, why am I selling this time of year? And I've also sold one item. I've actually sold it 3 times, and I was surprised when it sold. I thought, oh great, I listed it. It's probably not going to sell. And it sold 3 times, and I found out that even though my prices were higher than Amazon's prices, they were still lower than what he was paying at his local store for the same item. So that's things you got to take. That's kind of interesting that the item I sold this guy, which guy was more expensive than what it is on Amazon. Of course, he didn't look at Amazon. What he did is he saw my stuff on eBay and went, wow, I like that stuff. I get that stuff in my local store. This item's actually $30 cheaper from this guy on eBay than it is at the store I shop at home. Guess what? When he runs out, he's going to come back and look for it. And he knows who I am. He knows who he bought it from, so he's going to come back. So I'm going to keep it listed until it's no longer listable. I have sold 2 of the same item to the same customer, so I've had a repeat customer, which is really good. I haven't had a repeat customer on eBay in over 10 years. It was just because the guy was buying the type of stuff I was selling, and I was just getting rid of some stuff. Of course, this is before I decided to make an eBay business. This is really good. My stuff, I also have items that are now listed up on Google, and that's that's just started this week, so that takes some time to come to fruition. So I'm looking at, they say it could take from 7 to 17 days before you start getting some really good results from doing the Google stuff, and that's just an average. And like anything, it takes time. Like when you're doing it, like if a company does an advertising campaign, they may not see a result for a week or so, unless you're like that new Taco Bell one with Ronald McDonald liking the Taco Bell breakfast. That isn't, unless it's something that ingenious, it usually takes a little bit of time for an advertising campaign to work. If people aren't talking about your advertising campaign at work, that's normal. If it's coming out, and the next day people are talking about it, you have a hit of an ad. And so what's really interesting, I've had items that I have actually listed this last week, and it sold within 24 hours. I had a couple items. I set up 336 items on there. Like I said, some of the stuff are seasonal items for this season coming up. I've got some seasonal items for the summer coming up, and then I'm going to have them on listed for about 4 months. And once that summer's over, I'm going to let them fall off and not worry about putting them back on until next summer. Because when that stuff starts falling off in about 3 or 4 months, it's about time for me to get ready for like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Of course, back to school is going to be coming up in July. Right now, I've got a couple items up for Mother's Day. Probably this next week, I'm going to start putting some stuff up there for that. Probably going to see how it works. But this is a really great business. Other than a couple bumps I had from being new at this, I'm actually doing pretty good. The person who introduced me to this business and who they're actually calling me up for advice on things with this business because they don't know eBay as well as I do. Now, I'm not a guru on eBay. The guy who's teaching he's like Mr. Guru. I'm just listening to what he says. Anything that you want to be successful in, that you have a talent in, that you can do, you should do it, but you need mentorship. And the mentorship here is very effective. If you don't have a talent, they'll teach you what to do. You do what they tell you, you're going to be successful. Is the success going to be overnight? No. Can you be successful in 90 days? I believe you can. But his program is really a 6-month program. And he says, I can teach you that in 6 months you can be free from your job. I'm trying to do it in 3, but then again, my eBay account, and PayPal account have been around for a while, so pretty well established. He can take somebody who's never had an eBay account or PayPal account and have them making $4,000 or $5,000 in 6 months, and they just follow what he says. And as long as they do things with honesty and integrity. And that's what I like about this. And what I like about the guy, he says, listen, Don't spend the money on our stuff. You're just going to spend it, just fall asleep and do nothing with it. You're just wasting money. I've never heard anybody in any type of marketing company say, hey, don't buy this if you're not going to do anything, because I don't want you to waste your money. And I like that, because that shows that he is really willing, that he does. I mean, obviously he's in business. He wants to make money because he's in business, but he doesn't want to make money off of somebody just to make money off of somebody. He wants them to make money. He wants to make money by making sure they make money. In other words, his success is based on how well you're successful. And if you do study people who are successful, they have a habit of teaching other people how to be successful. Ray Kroc of McDonald's has Hamburger University, teach people how to run a McDonald's. Burger King probably has the same thing. Obviously, it's not called Hamburger University, it's whatever they call it. Donald Trump has the apprentice program. I mean, Donald Trump has stuff where he teaches people to be wealthy. Robert Kiyosaki teaches people how to do real estate. People, whatever industry they're in, they end up starting to teach people how to be successful in the industry they're in. And that's how this guy ended up doing DS Domination, because he was teaching people for like $2,500 how to be eBay sellers. And instead what he did, he said DS Domination, he charged people a lot less, but he's getting a lot more people, so he's getting a little more money overall. And he has an 84% stay rate, which means he only has a 16% attrition rate, which means out of every 100 people that join DS Domination, only 14 or 16 leave. 14 to 16, like 14 or 16 people leave out of every 100 that join DS Domination. That's a very high rate, very, very, very low rate of attrition, very high rate of people staying. So this is a business worth it. I guarantee that you want to look at this business. Click my link below, learn some more. Have a great evening.